Hello, it's Lauren from Inkit Labs, and I am here with a brand new clear acrylic charm tutorial for Photoshop. The first thing I'm going to do here is open up my artwork. So this is a piece that I've designed within Photoshop where I have the front and the back pre-designed. And the next thing I need to do is open up the template for the size of the piece that I need. So my file, I've already resized it to be 2 inches tall. And now to open my template, I've already pre-downloaded them, but I'll show you where you can get them. If you go to the Inkit Labs website at inkitlabs.com and you click on File Setup up at the top, then you click on Photoshop and Clear Acrylic Lab Kit, you're going to want to check this box and then download all of this. This contains the templates for all of the sizes for clear acrylic for Photoshop, and then it also has written guidelines of everything that I'm going to discuss in this tutorial. So I've already downloaded these things, so I'm going to go ahead and open up my template. So it'll probably end up in your downloads folder, but I've already relocated it to another folder. But I'll go to Raster Lab Kits and then Clear Acrylic Lab Kit, Templates, and I will double click the 2-inch template. So now I need to get my artwork onto this template. So I'm going to go here to my original artwork, click Select All, Edit. Let's see, I need to click on my layer first. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste my first layer on initially. So you click Edit, Copy, then go to your template, hit Edit, Paste, and then you need to go back to your artwork, click on your other layer, hit Edit, Copy, go back to the template, Edit, Paste. Now I have designed my artwork backwards so that I could flip this in the appropriate direction for you. So basically, if you want your artwork to be facing, like right now the cat is facing to our left. So the fish is on the left. If you were to use this document as it is here, your final charm would have the fish on the right from the front, if that makes sense. I hope it does. So basically, for clear acrylic only, your artwork needs to appear in the opposite direction on your front layer. And then everything, all of the other layers need to follow that orientation. So I need to go ahead and select both my front and back, and then click Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontal. So now I know that the back of my design will have the text reading in the appropriate direction. My front appears backwards, but I assure you this will face the correct way when made into a charm. So I'm going to take my front layer, which is this visible layer now, and I need to put it into the CMYK front layer or folder. There's already a layer in here, but you really don't need this. This is just for the guidelines to show you that you need to have layers under this folder. So I can go ahead and delete that. And then my back layer, I need to go ahead and drag into the CMYK2 back. And I can do the same here and delete this empty layer. Okay, so I've got my artwork onto the artboard. If your artwork is larger than the artboard, I would suggest going ahead and scaling within your original file to generally the size that you want. What you can do once you're in here is you can actually, if you have both layers selected, you can come in here if you say you have a file that's really tall but kind of thin in terms of the width. You can rotate it and you can scale it up if you want. And you can make it do anything. If I didn't have this fish, it wouldn't be a problem, but I can scale it to almost to where it's touching the edges, just to kind of get more bang for my buck out of the template. But in this instance, I'm going to keep this the way it is because of this little floaty fish I have here. So the next thing that you need to do is you need to make your white layer. And because the contents of my front and back layer are the same in terms of their silhouette, I can just make a copy of some of my layers and then make all of the following layers from this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all the pixels that are contained within this layer 1. And you can do this by hovering over the image. This won't work if you hover over the layer name. But if you hover over the image and you hold Command down on your keyboard, and then you click on the image, you can see here I've got these little marching ants. That represents the selection that I've made. So I've selected all the pixels within this layer. Now I'm going to go down to my white layer. I'm going to click on this empty layer, and I'm going to click Edit Fill. And you're going to want to fill it with black. So you can hit OK. So now if I go ahead and hide my 2 layers that I've pasted in here, you can see this. This is going to be the white contents of my document. So this is going to be everything that's filled with actual white ink. The next thing I'm going to do is do the same for the gloss layer. If you want a different contents for the gloss layer, like say you don't want gloss on the fish, you just want it on the cat, then you would just select the pixels within the cat and put that into the gloss layer. But for this piece, I also want gloss on my fish. So you can either duplicate this white layer and then move it to the gloss layer, or you can simply go down to the gloss folder, click on the gloss layer, and with the pixels still selected, you'll click Edit Fill, Black. You want to make sure your blending mode is normal and opacity 100, always for this. And you click OK. That's true for the white as well. So now I've got my gloss and my white are finished. My K2 back also has contents. The front has contents. And now I'm going to make my cut layer. So for this, I'm also going to click the empty layer under this folder and click Edit Fill. You can still do black for this, that's fine. Click OK. So now if I hide all of these other layers, I can just see the cut contents. Now, Inkit Labs will take this cut layer contents and we're going to offset it for the cut line. Now, if you have floating elements like this fish, this could be problematic if when we offset it doesn't have enough of a connection between. Or say for instance, you want to make sure that there's going to be enough connection between these whiskers. So what you're going to do within this cut layer, you want to make another layer just for your working layer, and then once we're done kind of editing this, then we're going to merge the two. So I'm going to zoom in to this section. I'm going to get my brush tool, and you want to make sure that your brush tool, the hardness is set to 100, and your opacity and flow are set to 100 as well. And I'm going to use black so that it's the same. And so I've got my black. I'm going to just go ahead and make a shape that includes all of this. Now I'm drawing with my mouse right now, so it's a little awkward, but if you have a tablet or something like that, it'll make it a lot easier. So you'll want to just go through here and make sure that those things are closed and probably not as sloppy as I'm drawing it. And then you'll see here that there are some pixels missing. You can clean that up by just brushing over them. And here I've got some transparent pixels, so I'll go ahead and brush over those too. Now, things like a soft edge or something like that, those are not as big of a deal. But if there's like pixels missing within the design, that's a little bit more worrisome. So we'll go through, and normally I would be a lot more nitpicky than this, but I am working with a mouse. So then you can fill in the eye, you can do these things. So if I want to connect my fish to my cat, I can just kind of make a smooth, a kind of smoother connection. This is very awkward with mouse. Okay, so once you've kind of finalized this, you can shift select both, then you can right click and merge layers. So then this is your new cut contents. You can also, if you have smaller shapes that go outside, you can draw big shapes that kind of go outside, and that will represent where you want us to offset your cut line from. The next thing we need to do is move this cut hole. So this cut hole, let's say I want to have it kind of in the center of his head. I wanted to show everyone how to treat the cut hole. So you don't want to do something like this, or you won't really have a solid connection for your cut hole, and that will make your charm weak. So you actually want to align the bottom of this inner circle with the outer edge of your design. So if I go down, I can peek at where my pixels are, and then I want it just kind of there. And you don't want to merge this cut hole with any of your layers. You also do not want to draw your tab within any of the layers either. So this would be how you would set up a tabbed hole. If you do not want a tabbed hole, and you just want a hole that's within your design, you can actually move this down. And this outer edge of this outer red circle should align to the outer edge of your artwork. So that's where you would want that if you wanted the hole through the actual artwork and you didn't want to have a tab on the outside. Let's see if I need anything else here. So file naming, the next thing you want to do is you want to save this document not as 2-inch template clear. You want to hit File, Save As, and I'm going to save it into this same tutorials file document. And so for the file naming, say I'm ordering 50 pieces of this. I only have one design. And say my name was Bob Bobberton and my business name was Mercats. Then I would name it Bob _ Bobberton _ Mercats. Then I need to put _ Q50. That's how many I'm ordering. Quantity 50. _ Then you're going to put the size. The size of this piece is 2-inch clear acrylic. So I'm going to put 2-inch clear acrylic. Then I'm going to add _1 of 1, because this is file 1 of only 1. I'm only giving you 1. So then you want to hit save. Okay. And now you have a finished setup file for Inkit Labs. Thanks so much. I am on to making more tutorials now.